Hey guys, it's Yvette and I am back with the Cotton Cuts Are You Game Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Now this one just started at the beginning of August, so I think actually the last Friday of July is when the first clue was shipped out. So this one has been waiting for me to get to it for a bit. But if you've been following along, you know that August just was a horrendous month for me. But I'm getting all caught up and we are going to get back on track very, very quickly. And I'm so excited to be putting together the small clue one for the Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Now this one is my small team Labyrinth. And I'm doing one small quilt and two large quilts. So I have already posted the sew along for the clue one on the large quilts, and I'm going to go ahead and try to keep up with making both of them at the same time so that you can kind of see how two different colorways come together on the same clues. So you'll see each clue put together with those two different fabrics, and then you'll be able to kind of see how they're coming along and how they're going to look similar yet quite different because of the colorways. So I'm really excited about this one, you guys, because it has been a long time since I've worked with Batiks. And this, when I saw these colors that were in this collection, I got so excited that I just had to have this colorway, and I'm really glad that I decided to do it because the colors in this are so vibrant. They make me smile so big. So I have the instructions for clue one. If this is your first time doing a puzzle mystery quilt, you will get the things that are right in front of you, or in front of me. You'll make sure that all of the pieces, because all of the pieces are going to be numbered here, so you need to make sure that you have the proper number of pieces, which I have. And you're also in the first package going to get what I call the little cheat sheet for your fabric. And so you'll want to make sure that you keep this throughout because you don't get another one. You're going to want to pull this card out each time you are starting with your clues. And the reason why they do this is because everything will be put together according to letters. And each colorway will have different fabrics in each letter. And so if you just follow this cheat sheet, your quilt will come together correctly. And each person or each team will have their own different colorway card. So you want to make sure you're keeping this. Okay, these are going to be the pieces we're going to have once we're done. So this clue is going to put together these pieces. That's just to let you know what you're going to have when you're done with this one. So then if we go, it's usually a flip over, but we had a couple little changes on here, so no biggie. You're going to go through and follow all the instructions on how to put the pieces together. And so let's get started. I'm really excited. I'm going to scooch this over, and I'll move the fabrics over, and we'll pull out what we need as we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need is two triangles. We are going to join the triangles C, which is this one, and triangles E, which are these colors. Okay, so what we're going to do is when we are going to put them together, we're going to put E, which is this colorway, to the top right, and we're going to put the C to the bottom left. And we're going to put together all 8 of these half square triangles. And the way that we do that is we will take either the one at the top or the one at the bottom. It really doesn't matter, but you want to flip them over right sides together. And you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance right here. So come on back after you have finished joining these 8 half square triangles. Okay, so we have 8 of these half square triangles put together, and now they are 3.5 inch squares. We are going to now go on to our, I'm going to do number 2 and number 3. Sorry, 2 and 3 at the same time. And here's why. All we're going to do is we're taking 4, so we have 8, so we're going to take 4 and 4. Boop. If I can get 4. There we go. Okay, and we are going to turn this first square so that the fabric C is to the top left. Okay, and then we're going to take these other 4 and we're going to make sure that C is to the bottom left. So just like this. And then we are going to take the C rectangles that we have, and we're going to sew one to the left side of each of these. And you just need to make sure you are doing 4 where C is to the top left and 4 where C is to the bottom left. Okay, so I'm going to take 4 and I'm going to put them there and then there. And all you need to do is take it and turn it right sides together. And then you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance here and here. Okay, so we have our rectangles, and these are the 2 different ways that we need them. Again, we have 4 of this way and 4 of this way. I have been neglecting to tell you how they want you to press. So whenever we made the first squares out of the half square triangles, you were to press toward fabric C, which was this color here. Now, I've been pressing all mine open. That's just how I do it. But if you're going to use these to nest seams, that's how they have you doing them. And when we joined these together, we were to press toward the C rectangle. And so that's this piece here. Okay, so now we're going to move on to step number 4. We can move these over for a bit. And step 4 has us putting together all of these strips. And I'm just going to put them in order. So our A fabric is this one for me. The B fabric is this one. And then the D fabric, which is this one. Okay, so if I move those over a little bit, we're going to be attaching these like so. We're going to have A, and then a B, and then another A, and then a D, and then a B. Okay, and we are going to sew these all together, and we are going to press everything to the right. Now, I'm going to be pressing open, but in order to nest seams for later, if that's how you prefer, then you'll want to press everything to the right. Now, what I'll do is I'll probably, and to make it go a little bit faster, I will probably fold these guys over. So a 1/4 inch seam allowance here and here. And then when I come back and these are together, I will then fold this whole system on top of each other and then sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance there. Then once I have all 4 of these together, I just need to add this last one on where you fold it right on top, and then 1/4 inch seam allowance here. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And of course, I do draw my lines whenever I am putting all of my things together. I don't use, or I don't depend on a 1/4 inch foot. And honestly, it's just a, you know, it's just a personal preference. I don't think that one is any better than the other, but I do also have people occasionally asking me to show them how I do that. So just on this first set, I will show you how I do that, and it's really, it's very simple and doesn't take any a whole bunch of time. So I take the first two, I'll turn them right sides together, and this is where I'm going to be sewing the seam allowance. So I just put my pieces together, and then I will take a ruler with a 1/4 inch line on it. All of the creative grids do that, and that is the that's my preference on rulers. I use creative grids almost exclusively, not completely, because I also love Block Lock and some other rulers too. So I just take the 1/4 inch line, which it's a dotted line right here, and I put it right underneath the fabric. And I do that, I mean, the line is just off the fabric. So I'll try to get in close enough that you can see that the dotted line is just off the fabric. I do that because the pen that I use to mark my 1/4 inch seam does have a thickness to, you know, what you're writing with. The instrument has a thickness. I'm going to use red. Hopefully it'll show up better on this darker fabric. But then basically I just draw a line straight across. And for some reason, I only do this because for me, I have a much easier time following where my needle is along the line rather than looking on the side of where a line, I don't know why, it just works better for me. So that's why I do this. And then just so that I can carry things around and not worrying about them shifting, I will just put a few Wonder Clips just so that it doesn't move. That's really the only reason. You could pin it if you prefer to pin it, or you don't have to do a darn thing at all if you don't want to. You know, we're all grown ladies and gents, and we can decide how we want to quilt. Personally, right here, there are no rules. I think you can do whatever your heart desires. And I shall as well. Even if people think I'm crazy, I'm still going to do it. Okay, so same thing, and I'll do it this one because you'll be able to see it a little bit better on this brighter fabric. I will put the line directly under the fabric. So the dotted line is barely touching the top of the fabric. You can see it. I'm going to leave it rolling right there. And then I just take a friction pen. That's, again, my preference. You use whatever you like. People say that they have the marks come back in cold weather. I have never ever had that happen, guys. I don't know. I mean, I'm not calling anybody a liar, for goodness sakes. I'm just saying I personally have never had that happen. And for the most part, when I'm marking seams, I mean, it's inside the seam anyway. So if that did come back, I don't know how on earth anyone would see that, because it's underneath the fabric inside a fold. I don't know. I've just personally never seen it. And also, if you are planning to wash your quilt, any sign of that is going to be totally gone anyway. So it just depends on how you're going to use the project, I suppose. And either way, it doesn't matter. You guys do whatever you like. I'm just showing you as an example of what I do. It's all I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and sew the 1/4 inch seam allowance on both of those. Then I will combine these two pieces together, and then last thing I'll do is add this piece. Now we are going to make 4 of these units. As soon as you have all of those done, come on back and we will do step 5, which is the last step. Okay, so we have all of our strips sewed together into this lovely little rectangle. And now we are going to do our last step, which is step number 5. And we are going to take the sky and we are going to sew this strip to the top and this strip to the bottom, like so. And that's all we're going to do. So we're just going to fold this down and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance here and fold this one up and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance here. And when you come back, we will be done with clue number 1. Okay guys, here we go. It is finished. This is the 4 blocks that we put together using our clue 1 in the Are You Game Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cotton Cuts. So again, I am Team Labyrinth. This is the small quilt, And thank you so much for sewing along with me. Actually, this, I'm so super stoked about this one. I'm very, very excited. I am loving these colors and so very happy that I got involved with Team Labyrinth. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much again, and happy sewing.